Okay, in this video we're going to calculate the predetermined overhead rate. We're going to apply the overhead using that predetermined overhead rate, calculate whether we're over or under applied, and then prepare a journal entry to correct it. So the very first thing we have to do is read the problem. Speedy Inc. transports computer equipment for various companies. They apply overhead to jobs using a predetermined overhead rate based on truck miles. And then they have the estimated data here. We estimate that the truck miles are 20 million and the total overhead costs will be 12 million. So if you've read the chapter already, predetermined overhead rate is calculated by taking the manufacturing overhead cost divided by some sort of base. In this case, it's truck miles. They told us right here that's the way they're going to calculate it. It could be direct labor hours, it could be direct labor cost, it could be direct materials cost, it could be a lot of different things. So you just have to read the problem to figure out how they're calculating their predetermined overhead. And so we know that the estimated cost is 12 million and the estimated truck miles is 20 million. Not 2,000, 20 million. And so then all we have to do is do the math. So I'm going to put an equal sign that tells Excel that I'm getting ready to do a math equation. And I'm just going to take the 12,000 and I'm going to divide it by the 20,000. So our predetermined overhead rate is 60 cents per mile. So the next thing we have to do is calculate what the manufacturing overhead was. So they said that their actual overhead is 15 million. I went ahead and filled that in down here. And they actually drove 24 million miles. So we have to take that 24 million miles and multiply that times the 60 cents per mile to get what was applied. So that's 14,400,000 is what we applied based on our estimates, right? We have an estimated cost and we have an estimated truck miles. And then when they get to the end of the accounting period, they calculate what their actual overhead applied was, and they come up with $15 million. So then we have to figure out, are we over applied or under applied? If the applied amount is less than what they actually did, then that is under applied. Under applied. If the applied amount is more than what the actual is, then they're over applied. So the 15 million actual is less than the 14.4 that they applied, and so we just have to subtract these two to come up with the amount of 600,000, and I'm going to put here that we're under applied. And since we did not apply the correct amount, we have to make a correction in our books for that 600,000 that should have been applied that was not. And so we're going to debit cost of goods sold. Whenever you're under applied, you're going to debit cost of goods sold, and you're going to credit manufacturing overhead. If this had been reversed, if we were over applied, then the journal entry would be reversed. We'd be debiting manufacturing overhead and crediting cost of goods sold.